So I'm filling some empty slots in my boxes right now, and I figured I'd run you through a little fly that does pretty well for me. This is the lime Trude. So what we have in the vise is a straight eye dry fly hook. This is size 12. This happens to be a Daiichi 1100. And then for thread, what I'm going to use is some UTC 70 in wood duck. I don't like using black on this because of the bright green body. I just don't want the dark showing through. This is a good color for this. So we're going to start our thread at about the 1/3, 2/3 mark, and that's going to mark the body from the front hackle. So I'm just going to come up here, get my thread started. Leaving about 1/3 up front for our hackle. Nice little thread base. Trim off the tag. So I'm going to park my thread just in front of the back of the hook, the back of the shank. So the tail on this is tied with golden pheasant tippet. So I pulled out just one little feather here, and I'm going to get rid of the fluff and some of the longer stuff on the bottom. Leave myself with this. And then what I like to do is I like to come in here and just trim out the center stem, which gives me that little profile right there. That way all those tips are even and I'm not fighting trying to get them on the hook. Now I tie the tail on this a little shorter than shank length. So I'm just going to measure that up here, change it over, line it up, and tie that in all the way into the end of the shank, and then just tie the butt ends down to the top. So the dubbing on this is Hareline Dubbin Insect Green. Any lime, real bright green will work well. This is rabbit based, so this dubs down nice and tight. Keep your dubbing noodle pretty sparse. I'd rather have 2 layers of sparse material for a more durable body than trying to put too much of this on at once. So I'm just going to dub myself a nice even noodle here with that bright green. Slide it. I don't have any wax on this thread, so it'll slide right up there nice. And I'm looking for kind of a carrot shape, so a little thinner in the back, and then build it up as we go forward. Support those tails, make sure we don't disturb those. Go forward. There's my first wrap, and I'm going to come back. I have enough here to kind of build this up. Ran out there. I'm going to add just a little bit more. A little bit of dubbing goes a long way. We'll just build this up. One more little piece. It's easier to add than to try to take it off, so take your time dubbing this. There we go. Now I'm going to put a quick little layer of thread down here and park my thread right in front of the body. Now for the wing, I'm going to be using some calf body here. Calf tail works. I like calf body because I can stack it. If I can find it long enough, it'll stack nice. Makes a great wing. You could use calf tail if you wanted to. You don't necessarily have to stack this. I personally like the look of the stacked wing, so I'm just going to come in here, trim off just a small little clump, and then I have a little brush here, a little comb. Pull out those shorties into my hair stacker. And we'll stack this up. And I'm going to take it out, kind of eyeball it, figure out how much I want there. Just teasing out a few. When I compress this down, I want it to be about the diameter of the eye of that hook. Once I have the quantity right, I'm going to restack this, even them back up. Always take out your wing or whatever you're using in the direction you're going to use it. So I'm going to pull it out in this fashion, that way I don't have to try to flip it. So this wing is, I like to run this to about the end of the shank. It's a little bit longer than the body itself. I'm going to pre-trim this. I'm going to try to cut it at a little bit of an angle. Now I can just bring it down, try to keep it up on top, secure that in. Notice I didn't let go of that wing until I had it all the way in, that way it didn't disturb it. Now I'm going to find myself a hackle and size it, so I'm just using some whiting saddle hackle in brown. And what I've done now is stripped off the butt end there. I'm going to tie this in. I like to have the shiny side or the front side of the feather facing forward on this fly. So I'm going to tie that in underneath the hook. Trim off this tag so it gets buried underneath there. And then I'm going to park my thread behind the shoulder of the eye there. Alright, so now here we go. We're just going to wrap forward. So touching turns, if I have any facing forward, I'm going to try to move those to the back. We're going to put a nice full hackle on here. I'm not afraid to go right to the shoulder of the eye there. Now I have some facing forward, but we'll get those trapped here in a second. So I'm going to come up, 2 turns will hold that. I'm going to reach in with my scissors, trim all that away. Now before I even set this feather down, I just go ahead and get it ready for the next fly. I just pull those out, set that down. Alright. We'll spin our thread up just a bit. We'll put our whip finish in. So try not to grab any of those hackle barbs. 4-turn whip. I'm going to put another little 3 or 4 turn whip in there. Pull this, support the eye, tighten that up. And then just open your scissor blades up and slide up through that thread, and that'll cut that right off. So that's the lime Trude. This is a great little searching fly. I use it quite a bit in Pennsylvania on the little streams there. Great little bug. Good luck. Thanks.